All right, hello and welcome to another Expert Insight interview. My name is John Golden from Sales Pop, online sales magazine, and Pipeliner CRM, joining you as usual from a sunny San Diego. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by David Ian Wood, who is in Asheville, North Carolina, and is actually outdoors enjoying the beautiful countryside there in North Carolina. How are you doing, David?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. And just 20 minutes ago, there were two bears here in my yard on the right, and there were two bears up on the street attacking the bins. I think we're pretty safe right now, but it'd be fun if I have to move due to bears.
Yeah, yeah. So if I see a bear heading towards you from behind, I'll give you. Well, it depends.
You
Make it
should
make
give me a
really.
heads
It
up.
could make for really, really good, good video. So maybe I won't tell you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're welcome. And David's gone from Fortune 100 consultant to coaching maverick and Hollywood risk taker. Left behind a high-powered career as a consulting actuary for Ford, Sony Music, and Chanel, trading Park Avenue boardrooms for a mission to transform lives and businesses. He's built the world's largest coaching business at the time, ranking number one on Google for life coaching, serving 150,000 coaches across 12 countries. That's amazing. Um, but your story's about more than that. Just courage, resilience. You survived a paraglider collapse. Wow, who fractured your spine, battled anxiety, depression, and most recently taken on acting in Hollywood. My son does some acting in Hollywood, so that's I'm that's no easy task in itself. I'll tell you that much.
No, I think
And
that's why Chat GPT added Hollywood risk taker to the bio because of
yeah,
the
yeah,
acting.
absolutely. And today you help business owners double their revenue, their time off, and their happiness. And he'll help you defeat the shiny object syndrome to the power of laser focus. That's what we're going to talk about today: is how to 4x your productivity and clarity. And that's David. Here's the thing. I often say this, but people say today, "Oh, I'm the busiest I've ever been in my life." And my answer to that is always, are you though, or are you just the most distracted you've ever been in your life? Because we live in this
Right.
world of constant distractions. We have got these little narcissistic devices who go, look at me all the time. We think we can multitask, but we really can't. So um, how do you help people start to even understand the fact that they can be focused, that they don't have to be running around like headless chickens?
Well, I think you're going in the right direction. I think we need to start by talking about the problem and
Mhm.
just understand the drivers that are having us be so distracted. If we understand what's always pulling us to distraction, then we've got a chance of fighting it. So I think the human mind is like a monkey on crack. It's just amazing. It's amazing we get anything done. Like just our own thoughts. You sit and try and meditate, the brain is just pop, 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 pop with all sorts of things, and they're not sales. So I think we all want dopamine, right? We want good chemistry. So dopamine feels good, oxytocin feels good, adrenaline often feels good. So we're looking for more and more entertainment. I'll be the first to put my hand up and say I'm guilty of it. When I watch TV, I might play a game of poker on my computer at the same time, and then I think I can multitask. I can be on hold to the IRS, and I can load one web page and then go and check some email, and then handle a text message. It's pretty fun, but what happens is it's
Yeah.
also stressful. So at the end of the day, we wonder why we need a beer or we need a glass of wine or we need something to unwind because we're so stressed. And then we've got to feel really busy and we may have had a good time, and
Yeah.
I'm all for that. But human beings are the only animals that can be intentional, as
Mhm.
far as I know. They can be like, let's build this, let's create this. We're going to go over there on Thursday. We
Mhm.
can do that. And the other animals, as far as I know, are more instinctual. So we have the ability to do incredible things. But if we give in to these temptations and allow the distractions, there's nothing
Mhm.
wrong with it. Every listener got to where they are today by operating at the level of focus that they are. I'm just saying if you want to get a bit more lasered, you can be more intentional, and we can go over the 4 levels of gamification that I like to talk about, the 4 containers, so you can actually be clear, this is what I am going to produce this year, this week, this day, and this next 25 minutes. And I say do it because it feels good. If you start, getting more lazy and less distracted, you can feel like a
Mhm.
hero at the end of the day. You might just get all your goals achieved as well, but I think that's icing on
Yeah.
the cake. I say do it because it feels good and because it's intentional. It's like Babe Ruth. I never watched baseball, but I understand Babe Ruth would point out of the stadium and say, "This is where I will hit the ball," which was really difficult because he didn't know where the
Yeah.
pitch was going to come in. Well, we can do that. I'm going to hit it out there, and we can nail it every single day. And I'm here to talk
Yeah,
about
and
how to
and
do
what I
that.
like about the idea of intentionality is because it's the antidote to chaos. Because that's what I think a lot of people feel, that everything is out of control. Like there's so much going on that they don't have control over it. And you're going, yes, you may not have control over all those things, but you have control over what you choose to put your focus on, right? And that's, that is, I'm not
Right.
saying that that's an easy thing. So yeah, so let's dive into those 4 levels of how you get to that level of focus and clarity.
Great. And just now that I said that, let me add another reason or two as to
Yeah.
why we'd bother. I mean, one, because it feels good, but most business owners that I work with, um, they're a bit entrepreneurial, and I haven't met one yet that didn't want to double
Hmm.
revenue. Okay, so wherever you are in your business, usually doubling revenue as a goal. And I think if you want to do that, yeah, there are 9 different areas I help my clients look at, like conversions and upsells, and there's hiring and motivating teams. There's a lot you can look at, but the low hanging fruit, 4x your productivity. Get really focused so that you're getting twice as much of what matters done in half the time. And that's not crazy. That's not
Right.
hyperbole. I can't make you do twice as much of everything in half the time. I can't help you do that. But twice as much of what matters in half the time is not a big ask. And that's a 4x in
Hmm.
productivity. So yeah, we'll talk about the 4 levels of gamification, which will get you clear and get you focused. And if you do care about doubling revenue, I say this is a really great
Yeah.
way to do it. So number one, we want to gamify our business over a period of a year. That's some people like 5, 10 year plans. Okay, great. You want to do that too. But over the next year, have you written down, and this could be done in 5 minutes, have you written down, these 3 things are going to make me super happy and want me to call all my friends to say, I really nailed it. I did this. You might have a revenue goal. You might have some other kind of growth goal. You might have, I want to have half my
Right.
time back so that I'm spending, 5 more hours a week with the kids and 5 more hours a week, exercising or,
But
whatever it
but
is,
these yeah, but
just work out.
these are
This is
things, as you
actually,
said, these are things that make you feel good, that you get a very positive reaction, as you said, that you want to share with people, regardless, as you said, whether it's doubling revenue or getting
yep,
time back, whatever it is.
yeah. What would have you do
Right.
the happy dance? Now that's a big bar to set, particularly for an Australian, right? And someone from the UK, we're generally more laid back. But really, what would light you up? Now, notice if you feel any impulse to add 12
Mm,
more goals, because this is exactly where the scattering starts to
yep.
seep in already. So you want to work out, this is what really matters. If you want to have some bonus goals, okay, write those down and put them in a drawer. You might get to go to those once the first few are achieved. And I'm not saying you can only have
Right.
3, maybe you have 5 or 6, but don't go too crazy here, because you have to agree, this is what matters, this is what I will focus on, and write a list of what you will not
Mm,
do. These are the things that I will not put time into
yeah.
this year,
Can I?
because otherwise those things will creep in and you're
Yeah,
not
and I
focused.
just wanted to underline that one because I think that is incredibly important. Well, there's two things you said there. Number one is not to have too many because the more you have, the less you're going. The less chance you have of really achieving them. But the things not to do. I always found, David, right, when I would do strategy sessions or whatever, whatever businesses I was at in executive teams, and it was always fantastic. People were great at coming up with new ideas of things to do, and we could do this and we could do that. And then I would go, great, okay, we'll do these couple of things. This is fantastic. Okay, now what are we going to stop doing? And there's silence. It's like people struggle with that piece. It's the stop doing piece. It's like they just want to hold on to
Yep.
everything just in case.
Yeah. It's been said that your not to do list is more important than your to do list. So, for example, this year I was just scanning like what have I agreed not to do? I've agreed not to invest time in getting better at the piano and guitar. I'm not going to do that. I'm not investing time in traveling. I'm staying put and focused on my coaching business and my pickleball business and maybe an app that I want to do. So have that list, and it's a bit of a disciplined conversation with yourself. The second level of gamification, and again, I got no problem if you want to do over a quarter, Q1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to do monthly, that's fine. But just to keep it simple, I like a weekly plan to work out over the next 7 days. Maybe Friday at 5 o'clock, you sit down with yourself. And again, 5 minutes can be enough. It's such a game changer. Spend 5 minutes and look at your goals for the year and say, what am I going to knock off this week coming? What matters most? Where am I going to put my focus and my discipline? And again, you can have a list of 12 other things that you wish
Right.
you could do, but you have to be honest here and say, look, I'm going to put them on my wish list because I don't want to feel bad about myself when I don't get all the things done, and I don't want to be scattered. So let's have some discipline, take a breath. These are what matter, and the rest is going to go in a drawer or in my bonus list if I get these other things done. That's a great game to play. Get all these things done, and I get to
Right,
pull something out of
right.
the drawer.
And what's nice,
Okay, I think that's
yeah, and what's
totally
nice
cool.
about that too is because I think sometimes when people set goals, then they get paralyzed because they set the goals and the achievement of those goals seems so far away. But as you said, if you're setting the weekly, here's the things I'm going to do, over the next like 5 or 7 days, then you feel momentum towards the ultimate goals.
Yeah, yeah. So set an alarm, work out when your ritual is to do that, maybe with a cup of coffee on a Sunday morning. I'm not a fan of Monday morning. Don't get up and sit at the desk without knowing what your week's going to be. Do it earlier. Okay. So we've got the year worked out, we've got the week worked out, and here's a bonus tip. You don't have to do this, but I'm a big fan of mapping that onto your calendar. You've got your 5 things, put a time frame next to it. How many hours is each one of those things? There's a concept of time blocking. Okay, I've blocked off 3 hours to
Mhm.
work on my website versus time boxing. And time boxing is I'm only allowing 3 hours to work on the website, or in the next 2 hours, I'm going to complete my bio and the pictures and 2 pages on the website. That's time boxing. So I'm a fan of work out how many hours you're allocating to each of these tasks and then go and put that into your calendar and work out where it lives in your week. Monday morning, I'll do this. Tuesday afternoon, I'll do this. Oh, wait a minute. Look, Wednesday's booked up. I got to go to the doctor. I got to take the kids and do this thing. I can't fit all this. That's great news. Now you get to make a decision, take something off the
Right.
list. So that's why I think it's good to map it out so that you can be up close and personal with
Right.
reality. This is actually what's achievable and this isn't. And if you can't get it all done, take the hit up front in your planning session. That's where you take the hit, like in tax terms or accounting terms, you take the loss in the books. Well, take it up front
Mm.
during the planning session. Okay, not going to get that done. I'll grieve for that right now. Okay, I let
Yeah,
go of
yeah,
it. Right? That's where you do the letting
yeah.
go.
No, I like the analogy. It's
Yeah.
like when you have a bad debt on your books, and you put it off and you put it off and you put it off for as long as you can from an accounting point of view. But the day comes, you got to take it, and it's an ugly day, so you might as well take it early.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard them talk about technical debt in a startup or some kind of tech company. You got technical debt where you're getting behind and behind where the
Mhm.
tech needs to be. Well, we got some time debt too, because our brain says this is everything that has to happen, but it can't
Yeah.
all be done. So at some point, just be honest with yourself and go, all right, I'm going to have to let go of that stuff, push it back. Then you can play a game called I'm going to meet my
Mm.
goals in reality. Now let's talk about the third level. Third level might be obvious. It's tomorrow. What am I going to do tomorrow? You've already got the weekly plan, but that can go to hell and things
Yep.
change. So at the end of every day, um, I I'm so Virgo. I'm so into systems and order. I probably should be German. Um, I like to if it's important to me, I need to set an alarm at say 4:30 to say, hey, heads up, 30 minutes, you're going to do your
Mhm.
plan for tomorrow. Okay, got it. Back to what I was doing, and then when it goes off in 30 minutes, okay, I'm ready. 5 minutes with myself to look at tomorrow, look at my weekly goals, and again, you got to take the loss if you're not going to be able to get done what you need to, and you might have to move some stuff around. Be
Mhm.
honest with yourself. You might, you when you do this, you might realize, I can't get it done. I'm going to ask for help,
Right.
or hey, I'm going to delegate something, right? Or I thought it was going to take me 2 hours. I'm going to do the 1 hour version. This is where you get to make those executive decisions because you're taking 5 minutes for each day and 5 minutes for each week. That's where you take the losses and the profit up front and make all those decisions that are going to have you be super
Yeah.
intentional.
Yeah. No,
I'm grinning because I
yeah, no,
love this
I
stuff.
know.
I
I'm
just
saying it's
love being
it's
intentional.
great, and taking it to where the realism, I think, in it is the thing I really like, is where you're being practical and pragmatic about it rather than aspirational, saying like, oh, here's my plan for the year and here's my plan. Because it means that you're adjusting your plan to take into account the realities of life and work.
Yeah, yeah. So what we've covered already, I'm just thinking out of the 4x, how many X's have we got? If we do that, I would say I could see the average person getting 2 to 3 times of the important things
Hmm.
done in a day. Okay. Now, this last level is going to handle the distractions. This last level is my most fun one, the one I like the most. Can you guess the next time period? We've done a year, we've done a week, we've done a day. What would you say is the
It's an
next time
hour,
period?
25
25
minutes.
minutes.
Excellent.
Yep. I say an hour is too long. It's too big of a window that you can
Yeah,
get
no,
lost in.
I would agree with
So,
you, David, and that's why it's funny, isn't it? Like everybody sets up meetings, they default to an hour, regardless, regardless of what the meeting, regardless of what the meeting is or what it's about. Most people defaulted to an hour. And how many times have you been to a meeting where there's been an hour's worth of value?
yeah,
Mhm.
not that often. Um, so this next period is 25 minutes, and I didn't make up 25 minutes. This comes from the Pomodoro technique. Um, Many people have heard of it, and it's taken me years to become a devout follower. There's so many benefits, but let's just talk about how to do it. You can't do it when you've got a lot of meetings, back-to-back meetings, phone calls. That doesn't work. But say you've got a 2 hour block of time where you can actually dive in and choose your own agenda. That's 4 Pomodoros. 2 hours gives me 4 sprints of 25 minutes with a 5 minute break. That's when you do it. 1 hour, okay, maybe. 2 hours for sure. 3, 4, 6, 8 hours. Oh yeah, Pomodoros. So you set a timer for 25 minutes, and you must know exactly what the task is. You
Right.
have to know the goal for 25 minutes. You can't just go, well, I'm going to, again, use a website. I'm going to do
Yeah.
my website today. You have to, if I'm writing down 4 Pomodoros, I'm writing down 4 specific things. Okay, I'm going to get my bio done in the first half hour. The second Pomodoro, I'm going to choose
Mm-hmm.
photos for the website. Third Pomodoro, I'm going to draft 1 page. And the third Pomodoro, whatever. Must be super specific so
Yep.
you know if you hit it. Then you set the timer, 25 minutes on, and you must have notifications turned off. Come on. Come on. This is time for deep work where you get to do one task and one task only. This is a work
Mm.
meditation. You can't have a phone call in the middle of your
Right. Right.
meditation. You can't have someone at home knocking on your door saying, "Hey, honey, where'd you leave the
Mm-hmm.
coffee?" You can't have someone even knocking on your office. Go and find a conference room and get where people can't find you for this, just for
Yeah.
this period of time. And then 25 minutes on, you only do this task. You have to. If you do anything else, you go and check Amazon and order that extra bulletproof coffee.
Yeah.
Um, or you call someone and it's not to do with this task, you're going to find out very quickly you have
Yeah.
no hope. So it's a very tight container for a very fixed game. And then when the timer goes off, you must step away from the desk. And this is very hard to do because you want to finish the task. But you got to be honest with yourself. You gave yourself 25 minutes,
Right. Right.
game over. Now it's a new game. Now it's a new game, 5 minutes break, and you set a timer again, 5 minutes, and then go and make your coffee, do some push ups. I'll sweep the house. Those tasks I've been putting off, I'll go and do that, or walk
Mm-hmm.
around the house, get outside, and then when the timer goes off, now you go back to it. And if you were behind and you didn't finish, okay, you can play catch
Right.
up. Okay, I got 4 minutes to just wrap that up, and now I play a game called Catch Up. Can I get back on track so that at the end of 2 hours, I've got my 4 tasks complete? That's where the real game lives, and it's actually a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
fun.
No, it's and just to your point, you know the way people love to say, like, "Have you got a minute?" Right? Have you got a minute? And you always go, "Yeah, sure, I've got a minute for you." And it may take a minute for me to answer whatever your question is, but it then takes me 20 minutes to refocus. So the 1 minute that I gave you just turned into 20 minutes of lost productivity time. So just to your point that if you're going to do something focused, you have
Yeah,
to create the space to do that and be uninterrupted.
yeah. And when you set this game, see, before you have the game and the container, maybe you do have
Mhm.
a minute. But once you set the container, I
Yep.
no longer have a minute.
Mhm.
Not now. In 2 hours, once this deal with myself is complete, I may have time. I'm going to have to
Mhm.
look at my day, but it gives you a reason to say no to people and say, I can't do it today. I've actually already mapped it out and I can't fit it in because you're
Yeah,
playing a
yeah,
game.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, David, this
Yeah.
has been fantastic. We've covered all of the four of them. You haven't been accosted by any bears, so that's a bonus as well. I do see. I think your dog's been
Not yet.
wandering around there somewhere. I assume it's your dog.
Yeah. Bella's
Yeah, that's
keeping
good.
watch. She's
Yeah.
keeping
Well, all
watch.
of David's information will be below this video. But before we go, David, please do tell people a little bit more about you and what you do.
Oh, thank you. Um, I specialize in business coaching, but I'm also a generalist. So people come to me generally because they want someone who can look at the whole picture and all of their life. And if they got issues with their kids or they're not sleeping well, that affects work as well. So um, usually people come to me because they want to double revenue. So that's where we start. But my favorite comment from a client was he posted in a forum, I feel more like I've hired Yoda than a business coach. And that had me feel really good because the reason I do this is I want you to love your life. I want your life to be way better than we started. And if doubling revenue is that, let's do that. But also let's find out what makes it worthwhile being on this planet. And I like digging in to find out what else you want. And I want to make an offer for your listeners. The easiest thing to do if you like what we covered today and you want to apply this to your business is I have a really cool business assessment that's free for all listeners to Sales Pop. And I'll give you the link for that assessment. It'll take you about 10 minutes of your time and ask you some really good questions that are going to have you work out what you want and what's getting in the way, and even the beginnings of how you might get over those hurdles. That's one thing. The second offering is if you want me to review your answers and do a quick strategy call to help you create a plan, I'm happy to do that. The reason I do it and I don't charge for it is it's how I find the right people to work with. That's
Right.
where all my clients come from. There's no obligation to you and there's no obligation to me to work with you, but we'll explore and see if you even need coaching. And if you do, we can talk about what's going to work. And the third offering is, for years, I just did a fixed fee. I was like, hey, it's $2,000 a month. Wherever you're at in your business, if that works for you, let's work together. But a lot of people were like, I'd like to work with you, but my business isn't at a point, if you're not making over $250,000
Yeah.
a year, I don't think you should be paying $2,000 a month to a business
Mhm.
coach. I don't think it makes sense. So what I'm offering, if you mention John and Sales Pop and sliding scale in your notes when you do the business assessment, I'm happy to do a sliding scale for you. And so instead of a flat 2,000, we'll pick a number from as low as $300 up to 2,000 that matches where your business is at. We'll just pick a number that feels good to both of us.
Yeah, fantastic.
So those are my three offerings to your listeners, and the link is really easy. Focus.ceo. It's not .com. I got the CEO domain, which I was really excited about. Focus.ceo/quiz.
Okay, focus.co/quiz, and we'll have that below here as well. Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks again, David. This is fantastic. So packed full of so many great insights, and I encourage people to go take the quiz. You never know where it might lead you. You never know what impact it might have on you. So this has been great again. So thank you, David, for this. Like I said, the only thing missing was the bear, but you can't have everything. Or Bigfoot, actually.
That's right.
Bigfoot would have been a big bonus, but there you go.
We can Photoshop that in.
Yeah, exactly. So listen, thanks again. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you.